you ready to replace Stefon Diggs, Keefe?
I guess I have to be. Now, I can't say this is a huge surprise. There was a lot of writing on the wall, as they say, Jones, that Stefon Diggs could be cut if they couldn't restructure a deal. We didn't think he was going to return on the same deal. But this is a classic, what's the next move? What's the next move? Because this could potentially be better. I like Steph Diggs. I like Steph Diggs a lot, but I'm not saying he cannot be replaced. But if you don't replace him, that's devastating. That's terrible for the quarterback. It's terrible for the offense. But, like, I'm not going to completely lose my mind yet. It's sort of similar to Bregman in a way, right? You lose Alex Bregman. I didn't really care, to be honest. But I thought you might replace him with Pete Alonso or Bo Bichette or somebody along those lines, and you didn't. So then it becomes a little bit worse.
No, you replaced him with Scrappy Doo is what you did.
Yeah, little Caleb Durbin.
If they do the equivalent of replacing Stefon Diggs with Scrappy Doo,
don't like that.
Not going to be good.
I don't like that because I guess there's a few different scenarios, right, where you could replace him with Alec Pierce, which everybody's talking about. You could replace him with a first-round pick. You could not replace him. Like all these different variations, or you can replace him with A.J. Brown, right? Like shoot for the moon. Like you could do something like that.
That when you say Stefon Diggs is not irreplaceable, you can replace him. That is the name I think of. Mm-hmm. Like, what do I want them to do now that Diggs is out? And if you somehow missed the news yesterday, the Patriots have informed Stefon Diggs, and he has taken to social media. And there were warning signs of this yesterday. I guess he unfollowed the Patriots yesterday.
Yeah, that's such a baby move. I like Diggs, but give me a break. And this happens all the time with these guys where they like. And people were on it even a couple of days ago. They're like, oh, like he's not following anybody on Instagram. Lame. That's the lamest thing.
Well, it is lame, but in retrospect, it was a tell. Now, I feel like athletes F around with this, and like I think it's hard to follow.
Cardi B even talked about how she would, like, when she's mad at certain guys, she'll, like, remove just those photos and, like, whatever. It's like.
You see her in concert the other day? She's mad at him.
I did not.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, she's.
I'm telling you, my algorithm is still Traitors, Game of Thrones, and Scream 7.
I don't believe we can play. I don't even think it can be cleaned up. She's mad at him. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh no.
So I would assume she's unfollowed him as well, though I can't speak to that.
All right, fair enough.
But Diggs unfollowed the Patriots. He did take to social media yesterday. He said, "Thank you for a hell of a year. We family forever." Heart emoji at Patriots. A.J. Brown would be an upgrade, I think.
Yeah.
And that would be a satisfactory replacement for Diggs. I think at the beginning of the offseason, we were hoping for both. Like, go get A.J. Brown in addition to Steph Diggs. I think it's become more clear they were never going to do that. So if it's Brown, I can live with it. In the meantime, I hate that they're moving on from Steph Diggs. I hate it. And our good pal, Ray, predicted, he called us last year. We laughed at him. He's like, Diggs will not be a Patriot in the second year. Ray, you were right if you're listening. I didn't think they'd do this. I guess I've been wrong about Steph Diggs, I guess, every single step of the way.
The whole time.
Like, honestly, every single step we took.
Yeah.
I didn't want him. I didn't think he'd be on the field. I didn't know how much he had left in the tank. Then he was really good. He was a team leader. I'm like, I would bring him back. Then he has, the domestic violence accusations that are still looming over all of this. And if there's a shoe to drop there, or the Patriots understand legally they can't stand by him, well, then I'll understand this a lot more.
Yeah, it's a different story, but it didn't seem like it in the time.
Well, and it didn't seem like it based on their statement. They stood by the guy, and, they really backed him up en route to a Super Bowl, only to, be like, oh, yeah, actually, you were accused of some pretty gross stuff. Now there's not football games anymore. Like, that'd be suspect to them, too. But if there's a shoe to drop there, I don't know that to be the case. I'll understand this a lot more. If it's a football decision, I hate it. And I'll hate it even more if it's Diggs out and Alec Pierce in.
I thought he was such a good fit. And even though he wasn't my number one choice in last offseason, last year at this time, we were looking at all the free agent wide receivers or potential trades. And we all had our list. I think Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp and guys like that, Chris Godwin, they were all on the list. But then they all got scooped up or they all stayed with their teams. And then there was Steph Diggs. And part of the real concern for me was more, all right, he's coming off an ACL injury that he suffered around Halloween. So how many games is he going to play? And you kind of need him to be the number one receiver because 2 years ago, the Patriots had one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the league. This past year, I would say it was average, right? It at times was even a little bit better than that. But Diggs and Mac Hollins really kind of came in there and solidified what the room was. Drake May got a lot out of guys like Kayshon Boutte, and you're like, all right, you can work with this group. I also thought Steph Diggs might be here more than 1 year. I was like, he fit in so well, and the contract wasn't one that they were just going to bring him back, but you see it all the time. Every day, check the NFL news and notes. There's just guys changing their contracts, saving salary cap, and giving up a little bit more upfront money and all that. It happens all the time.
I thought it was easy math. I thought it was
that's
easy.
what was going to happen. And it's too bad because on the one hand, you're like, well, he disappeared in the playoffs. Fair, but so did Drake May and Will Campbell, and I don't think we're getting rid of Drake May and Will Campbell. And the entire you can't get rid of the entire offense.
Nope.
He was still your leading receiver during the regular season. He was one of 16 receivers in the NFL to have a 1,000-yard season. Had big catches in the end zone, on the sideline, all that stuff. And on top of it, something that I wasn't really ready for was just how much of a leader he was and how he was like the voice of the offense.
Well, this is
now you're replacing that too.
This is part of why I wanted him back, because I think he was a leader in the room. We read Phil Perry the other week. I thought he had I think he had the best insight to the combine, and it turns out the GM he talked to was right. He talked to one GM in Indy who called Diggs a one-year guy.
I mean, that guy clearly was right about it. Maybe he talked to Elliott Wolf.
I was just going to say, in retrospect, it might have been Elliott. It might have been the Wolfpack talking to him.
Yeah.
But Diggs is a one-year guy. Twitch chat is saying, this is Mike in the Twitch chat, what Kraft is going to say is we need to pay Gonzalez and May when they don't sign anyone this offseason, and this is part of the logic in moving on from Steph Diggs. We got to save money to pay Gonzalez, to pay May.
No, but
I'm worried about that too, Twitch chat. I am.
I also would say you can do it where you tack on these extensions, and Drake May and Christian Gonzalez aren't going to make real big-time money until 2027.
No,
so
trust
you
me.
can pay Diggs. No, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just pointing out.
Buy it when Kraft says it, but I guarantee you that will be the excuse.
But now's the time. Like, if you're not going to have a $20 million wide receiver now, then you never will. Because you're right, it's coming. Drake May is going to be making $60 million or whatever it is by the time it gets to him. And the way they keep making more and more money, and the whole league is just swimming in money, he's going to make even more of it. But I'm upset that Diggs is gone, but I'm not going to lose my mind, because if it's A.J. Brown, then I'll be like, okay, you did it. Like, you improved
actually,
the room.
You actually upgraded.
Good, fine. You and I don't like Alec Pierce. A lot of people do like Alec Pierce. That's going to be one where I would at least give them credit for spending money, right? They're not just getting rid of Diggs to save money. They're getting rid of Diggs because those guys, which we have to trust, because Vrabel just had a great offseason the year before, he and his team built a hell of a roster. So if they view Alec Pierce as better than Steph Diggs, I'm like, all right, we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm going to take note of that. I personally don't feel that.
I'll say we'll see, because they did get a lot of stuff right last year, but I'm real suspect about it. But no, that would be
one in particular.
That would be a football ops second guess. That wouldn't be a Kraft second guess, because that's gonna Alec Pierce is gonna cost you real money. So that wouldn't be a Kraft second guess. I'd applaud Kraft for spending.
No, that would be more.
I would look right at Vrabel, Wolf, Cowden, Stretch. I'd look at all of them and say, okay, I mean, you guys knew what you were doing last year. Let's see if this one works.
It would be, even though it's even way more money, but it'd be like the equivalent of every year, we there's guys that we like in the draft, and then if they take somebody else over the guy we want, it's like, okay, that's sort of the fun of it. Now we get to debate and look at that guy, and how's that guy's career go? How's that guy's career go? And on we go.
The Patriots like Tyquan Thornton.
Oh, by the way,
you like George Pickens?
So I tweeted
you
this
liked
out.
Alec Pierce? Oh, I already know your gripe about this.
I dug up a tweet from 2022, one of my great viral tweets, and it was I took the wide receiver draft when they took Tyquan Thornton. So right after that, 3 of the next 4 picks, we highlighted this yesterday, were George Pickens, Alec Pierce, and Sky Moore. And my very hilarious tweet was something along the lines of, like, based on, the last 20 years, like, the next 3 guys are all going to be better than Thornton. And then in parentheses, like, I think so too. So, like, not just history, but, like, I think these 3 guys are better than Tyquan Thornton. Like, a handful of people tweeted, like, Sky Moore's not better than Thornton. I'm like, okay, great. You're right. Yeah. Sky Moore and Thornton, they're the same guy.
They burned you, Keith. Yeah. They burned you pretty good. Okay, honestly, I'm
going to ignore the fact that you wanted George Pickens and Alec Pierce over Tyquan Thornton, and not give you any credit for that. But they're going to be like, oh yeah, Sky Moore stinks.
Keith, when you get got, you get got. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap.
I got smoked.
Sometimes you just got to tip your cap.
I deactivated Twitter. I'm never returning. I'm out.
Those Twitter eggs, sometimes they just
they're mean.
You just gotta,
and they cut to the core.
You got to say, "Damn it!" It's a good point. We got your phone calls here. How do you feel about the Patriots moving on from Steph Diggs? Right call, wrong call. Who do you want to replace Stefon Diggs? And do you trust Mike Vrabel? I guess you should, based on last offseason. But
yes,
I if it's Alec Pierce, I don't trust it.
But it isn't Alec Pierce yet.
Not yet. It is the phone number to get in touch, 617-779-7937. You can also text us there. One texter did ask, guys, did you play nice with Razor today? Oh,
I didn't even see him.
Razor was in.
I didn't even see him. I heard him. I heard the show.
I heard him, and then I put on the Jones and Keefe Spotify playlist is what I did. But
how about that guy putting together the Jones and Keefe Spotify from the bracket?
Some bangers.
Heaters. Top to bottom.
Heaters. Real good.
Oh, my God.
I got to give that gentleman proper credit.
Turn it up.
Who put that together? I got to give him proper credit.
Yeah, you put together a whole Spotify playlist with at least one song, sometimes two, of every band that's in the Jones and Keefe bracket.
Yep.
Oh, no skips.
No skips. I haven't skipped one yet. I can tell you that. But no, Razor.
I didn't even see him.
He scurried right out.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. We were going to play nice.
I just missed him.
I didn't see him.
He might be a part of the Jones and Keefe Award show, though, that's coming up, a week from Friday.
Yeah, it's almost his own category.
Yeah.
Brendan put that together. Good job by Brendan.
Hell yeah, Brendan.
On the Jones and Keefe 1990s/early 2000s heavy metal, new metal, grunge, alternative, pop, punk, butt rock, and rock bands bracket/playlist now available on Spotify. We will get to Twitter and Instagram as well. You can vote in the Jones and Keefe bracket at Jones and Keefe. We'll continue in the Ozfest region today. We'll actually unveil a few more matchups there, and you can continue to vote. Watch along on Twitch, twitch.tv/BostonWEEI. Always a healthy chat going on Twitch. You can do the same on YouTube. Watch there, chat there, subscribe to WEEI. Why do you think they are moving on from Steph Diggs? Do you think it's on-field, off-field? Do you think they have their eyes on an improvement? Like, why move on from Diggs? Because that was a marriage that seemed to work pretty well for a year.
I wonder if it is sort of like the bang for the buck kind of thing where they feel like, all right, he is, we got a good year out of him, but they don't want to just fall in love with players that were good for a year. And this is not to insult Steph Diggs, but like the Red Sox a couple years, remember like they brought back like Steve Pearce after he was like World Series MVP.
Yep.
And it was like you had already maximized the most you get out of Steve Pearce. Then you bring him back and you're like, oh no. And now you're paying a guy. No, that's not fair. Like Diggs is a really great player.
He's way better than Steve Pearce.
What I'm saying? Like,
I get it.
Sometimes you fall in love with a player that was good for a season and you ignore maybe some of the red flags that were there. And so I personally like Diggs. I don't think he's an NFL number one receiver, but there's not 32 of those guys. So not every team has a Jackson Smith-Njigba or a Puka Nacua. You might need somebody to lead your room, though, and I think he can still do that. He did it a year ago. But I wonder if they do look at the postseason, they're like, all right, well, he kind of disappeared a little bit. My hope is they're trying to upgrade. My fear is they're just trying to save money, or like you've been saying, maybe they're just going to like put that cash into Drake May's pocket and be like, see, we got Drake May still, and we can't keep Steph Diggs.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's not just football. I do wonder if it's all the other stuff that comes with Steph Diggs, the Cardi B distraction, the accusations, plural. Like, he's actually been accused of quite a bit beyond just, what he's been in court for. But there have been other allegations and accusations. So, I wonder if they're just kind of done with that. And I'd like to think it's more that than football stuff.
Because
I think
what happens with Barmore.
True.
Right? Like, if that's something where they're putting their foot down, because at the time, they sort of spoke about both players. Even the lawyer, spoke about both players who at the time was representing both of them. There seemed to be a stronger defense for Diggs than there was for Barmore. So if you're moving on from Diggs, I don't know.
Why? Do you think Barmore's safe?
No.
Me neither.
No, I don't.
And so why do you think they move on from Barmore? Football or off-field?
Well, that would 100% be off-field. Because they already signed him. I thought he was really good this year. I know some of the write-ups were saying, he dipped in the middle. All right, maybe he did. But, like, overall, he and Milton Williams were such a great D-tackle combo that would not be a football reason. Because Diggs, can't you kind of argue football reason? Like, he was good this year.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah,
you can say he was good, but he vanished in the postseason, and he's in his 30s, and he's coming off a knee injury, and it's a ticking time bomb there. So, yeah, I mean, you definitely can make that. I wouldn't agree with it, but that argument can be made.
Yeah, because I still go back to, I don't know how many players that are available are better than Steph Diggs for 1 year. And they're like, well, if they can't agree to a contract, like, what is he really looking for? I think I don't think he expects to make like $26 million guaranteed for one season, does he?
Well, good question. What do you think his market is?
Last year it was none. Nah, he proved to be healthy, but like all of us in the world, a year older. So, good question. Alec Pierce is going to make $27 million, but for like 4 seasons, some are saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like 25 with like, I don't know how much guaranteed.
Are there like odds on where he's going to wind up? I haven't even looked.
Oh, I have not seen that come out yet. Usually we get those emails.
The Chiefs feel like a fit there. Like that feels like a team that, depending on when Mahomes is back, and I guess, look, they're cutting players left and right. They cut Taylor. They traded away McDuffie, which we talked about yesterday. So I guess I'd have to look closer at their finances. But, like, that feels like a potential fit with Mahomes. If I had to just guess, I have no idea where that is on the odds. I don't know where he's a favorite to go land. It won't be Buffalo.
I can
safely say it won't be Buffalo, and they need a receiver.
I was going to say Buffalo definitely needs a receiver. So now the Patriots definitely need a receiver. They needed one anyway. And so now when you're looking at all the potential guys that are out there, Buffalo and New England are going to be fighting over those same players. But Steph Diggs is kind of out on both. So yeah, maybe
the
Steph
Chiefs
Diggs
are pretty done with the really old retread.
Are they?
They do it every year, and it doesn't work.
I bet they get Hill back.
Yeah, but what are the chances? Again, is he even going to play?
He may not.
After
He may not play right away. Yeah,
and do people want to go there if Mahomes is only going to play for however many weeks?
I think Mahomes is supposed to be back fairly early in the year, but it might not be week one. Yeah. I do understand that point. I don't know. I wonder where Diggs is going to go. I wonder what kind of market he's going to have. If he has a soft market and no one's really interested, then that tells you the league views Diggs the same way the Patriots did. And by the way, the Patriots were higher on Diggs a year ago than anybody else. They're the only team that was interested a year ago.
I would put him, for me, for one season, as the best free. If he's like technically a free agent, they'll release him next week.
Over Evans.
Well, actually, maybe Evans. Because like Alec Pierce is ranked higher.
I like Diggs better than Evans.
Yeah.
For a year, I do. Evans is, I mean, you talk about Diggs coming off the knee injury. He proved he's healthy. Evans hasn't proved he's healthy.
No.
Evans has hamstring injuries every single year.
He's also like a touchdown machine.
No, I mean,
Evans more.
I love Mike Evans as a receiver.
That one's pretty close. But then when you look at the other guys that are on the list, and it's like Romeo Doubs, and you're like, all right, I think I'd take either one of those old guys over the rest of the group. But even says like that's going to be like a 1-year deal, and you know who wants to bring him in. But I think if anything, teams might look at it as like, wow, that really did work with the Patriots and with a young quarterback, and that worked really, really well. Now, there might be some red flags like, all right, why are you guys getting rid of him? But somebody will take a chance on him.
Why do you think the Patriots are moving on? Is it purely on-field? Is there an off-field component to it as well? And what do the Patriots do to replace him? How aggressive will they be? There are some out there, Jordan Schultz among them, that think the Patriots are ready to spend and spend big at the wide receiver position. So we'll get to it with all your phone calls, 617-779-7937. We have Rob Bradford joining us from Fort Myers coming up at 11:30, as he does each and every Thursday. We'll go on the clock at high noon. We'll tell you what the Bruins should do as we've reached the trade deadline here in the NHL, a little more than 24 hours away. So we'll go on the clock with the Bees at high noon, plus a Key for Madness for you at 12:45. Stay tuned for it with all your phone calls again at 617-779-7937. You can still vote. Jones and Keefe, 1990s/early 2000s, heavy metal, new metal, grunge, alternative, pop punk, butt rock, and rock bands bracket. We'll get to the bottom half of the Ozfest region, starting with a matchup between Tool and Disturbed.
Wow.
6-11 matchup coming up at 10:45. So about half an hour from now. Who did
A lot of people are mad about Tool being seated so low.
I did notice that.
Vote him through?
Well, you can. You certainly can. I will in this matchup for sure.
Me too.
People are asking if we address Greg about the Mudvayne mishap. You actually proposed again. I know you did this on the air yesterday, but you proposed off the air a summit between Greg and Mudvayne.
I thought it'd be a good opportunity to squash all beefs between Greg Hill and Mudvayne, and we have some extra microphones in here. They could come in and settle it, and then if Mudvayne felt so, felt compelled, they could do a live show for us right in here.
That'd be a good way to celebrate.
So open invite to Mudvayne is how I'd leave it. But Greg says he has no ill will anymore.
Mudvayne, of course, the number 9, but you can still vote.
Yeah.
Orgy v. Mudvayne, the 8-9 matchup
How's
yesterday.
That one going, by the way?
Ooh, good question. Where is that? Where is that?
I believe Mudvayne's in the lead.
Oh, wow. That's not how I voted.
Oh, they'll have to come in then.
I stuck with the chalk on that one. That is not how I voted in that matchup. But okay, we'll keep you up to speed on all of these matchups.
Very
Again, it's 617.
It's exciting times.
7-7. Oh, Mudvayne with a healthy lead, 65%. Wow.
Wow.
You orgy stands out there. Gotta get going.
Orgy heads.
So we'll update that later on in the hour. Billy Lanny has all the latest here in trending. How aggressive will the Patriots get at wide receiver? That's next.